This episode of The Couch is proudly supported by Retrovision, the right advice at the best price. Safety Compliance Global, taking care of all your safety requirements. The Ray Hotel, discover the best pub experience in Fremantle. And Eco Action, inspiring positive environmental change. Thank you all for supporting local.
Hello Australia, welcome to another episode of The Couch, episode 818. Let me tell you what's coming up today. We've got Samira Bicknell performing for us live from the theatre. Paul Elwyn is in talking movies. Demelza Leonard is here right beside me actually. She's talking about the new social media laws coming up very soon in Australia. Club Fiesta's in, Hello and the ladies are in to perform for us and do some fitness with us. And also Anne Wiley will be coming in. She's the chairperson of Millennium Kids. We'll talk to her. Lynn Locke is coming in. She's an author of a brand new book called My Nana's Books. Can't wait to talk to her. And Davida Home Care, tell us about all the changes that are coming up in November. We've got Catherine and Nikki coming in. It's a big couch. Hope you can stick around. It starts now.
It's showtime on the couch. Yeah, it's showtime on the couch. You can see it from your house. You can watch it from your house. It's showtime on the couch. With Fred and the best in town. Oh, it's showtime on the couch.
Oh, tell you what, no one beats a Jet 2 holiday either. I've been watching that on YouTube and all those sort of things. Nothing to do with the show, but Paul Elwyn is here. Welcome to the program.
Hey.
Don't you love that lady? Yes,
Yeah,
and you know you
does
can
well.
get £50 per person,
Wait.
and a family of four saves
so
£200.
£200.
Yes, there you go, Jet 2.
Thank you.
Well, welcome.
Cool. Let's go movies. There's heaps of cool movies, and also it's a non-Marvel, non-Disney batch this time,
Woo!
which is a bit different, I guess.
I'm excited.
Yeah, so it's something different for everybody, really. It's
They're
a lot of fun.
A bit scary, some of them.
A few big names in these
The
as well,
Conjuring.
actually. The first one we have is Honey Don't. What does that mean, Honey Don't? She's a private investigator. Her name is Honey Donahue. It's played by the very charming Margaret Qualley.
Where's she from?
Well, she's the daughter of Andy McDowell, and
Oh, I
her
know
dad.
him.
Her
Oh,
dad
yes.
is a former model, so good genetics. All she was in The Substance. That was the last big film that she was
okay.
in with Demi Moore, and that sort of thing. So in this one, she plays private investigator Honey O'Donoghue, which is kind of a cool investigator name. She's investigating a murder, and it's actually connected to a local sort of church, one of those mega churches that they
Yes.
have in America. And the head of that mega church is, of course, Chris Evans,
Oh.
the charming Chris Evans. Aubrey Plaza's in this as well. Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes.
He plays the crazy guy in this one again. It looks like a lot of fun. It's directed by one of the Coen brothers who did like Fargo, Big Lebowski, those kind of
the
films.
Coen
So
brothers.
Ethan Coen's
Oh, so it'll
directed
be
it.
good.
So even in the trailer, it's got his sort of exact, the style. It's quirky. It's like a Tarantino movie, but with way more quirks to it. That's Honey Don't. That's out in 28th of August. So that'll be a lot of fun.
It will be fun. What about Fight or Flight?
So Fight or Flight,
Yeah.
a bit of action for you. You John Wick fans will love this one. The charming Josh Hartnett is in this one. He's kind of doing a resurgence of movies because he did that sort of last suspenseful kind of thriller movie that he was in. So yeah, he's in this one, but obviously you can't just see Josh Hartnett with his usual hairstyle.
No.
Yeah, you got to dye it blonde.
Yes,
so
I
he's
saw
blonde in
that.
this. Essentially, all this is it's John Wick on a plane. Josh Hartnett is John Wick in this
Yeah.
one. He's on a plane. He's been contacted. He's a former agent, black hat agents they call them, and they've asked, there's one guy on this plane that you have to deal with. And he's like, yeah, that sounds simple. Oh no, apparently everyone on this plane is like trying to deal with this target that he has to sort out. And then for some strange reason, the trailer shows you, but basically John Wick style, they sort of put a bounty on his head while he's on the plane. So although the location's kind of limited, it's he's just running around on a plane, but it is a lot of action on
Looks
there.
like a lot of fun.
Yeah, and Josh Hartnett, he's just so charming, but he's doing action. It's kind of like a Brad Pitt style with what he's doing. So yeah, that's Fight or Flight, which is out on the 4th of September.
From drama to The Conjuring Last Rites.
So yeah, always got to have
Are
something
you a fan
scary.
of The Conjuring?
The Conjuring is fun. It's also branched out into like The Nun and Annabelle and all these other movies. This is essentially the 10th one in the whole Conjuring universe, which is pretty massive. But this is technically the last Conjuring movie, which is dealing with our lovable couple, which is Ed and Lorraine Warren.
They've been in it since the start.
They've been in it, but they weren't in some of the sort of side projects, that came out of it as well. But this is the last one, which is actually harking back to the original first case that they did, which apparently they didn't solve or they didn't sort of deal with what the situation was, and they ran away from it when they were much younger. It's come back to haunt them now, like nearly 20 years later. This one looks kind of cool. Is this going to be the end of everything, or what's going to happen? A lot of fun. It's directed by a guy who's done like several recent horror movies, and this has got a really cool style to it. It is different director to the previous Conjuring ones as well. So a must for all of you horror movie fans there. That's 4th of September, The Conjuring Last Rites.
The Long Walk is out on the 11th of September.
Yeah, so all of you Hunger Games fans or Squid Games fans, you want to do the whole endurance thing, but when you do that, you got to do it with your friends. So of course. Essentially, it's based on a 1979 Stephen King novel that he originally wrote under a different pseudonym, but obviously everyone looks for all of the Stephen King books, so they found this one, which is The Long Walk, which is the craziest kind of post-apocalyptic kind of tale. Essentially, 100 young teens are chosen, and anyone that can survive this huge long walk where they have to run at a certain pace, and you can only fail the sort of running, the walking bit, keeping up 3 times, and then all of a sudden it's the end of you. If you actually complete the whole thing, you actually get granted pretty much what you could consider a wish.
It's one of those movies.
It's essentially a thing that you want or something.
Squid
so
Games.
A huge dream for it, a huge survival thing. They're traveling from town to town. The only other cool thing with this is, who's the bad guy? Who's the evil general that's driving these kids through? Of course, it's Mark Hamill.
It has to be.
Skywalker. Our usual good guy is he's quite menacing in this one as a bad evil general that's pushing these kids through this whole endurance thing. So you Hunger Games fans, this will be a lot of fun. The Long Walk.
Does Mark Hamill look older in this? Because he always looks young.
He's older. He's very husky. He's very scary in this. He does the job.
Different.
Yeah, it's great. So The Long Walk, that's out on September 11 in cinemas.
Sketch is out on the 11th of September.
So for all the kids, this is a huge sort of imagination, sort of cool fantasy storybook kind of thing. Sketch. Essentially, a girl has a box full of sketches. It falls into sort of a magical pond of sorts. Every single thing that she sketches, because she has a very vivid imagination, everything she sketches has come alive, and it's wreaking havoc in town. And essentially, her parents are trying to help, and everyone's trying to help deal with all of these crazy creatures and things, because it stems from her imagination, and somehow it's channeled out, and the town's sort of dealing with various monsters and creatures that are coming out of it. The cool thing is, the child, 11-year-old child, her parents are played by Tony Hale. He's from Arrested Development. He's a really funny dude. And also his wife, the mum, is played by Darcy Carden from The Good Place. Oh, okay. She's the main lady that was in The Good Place. So she's in this one as the mum. And they're both the main people dealing with this whole situation.
It's
where
an interesting concept.
A kid, it's kind of like a dark comedy because it is monsters and that. Yeah. So it's a little bit scary, but hopefully in the end of this, they're going to deal with all the cool monsters that have come out of this girl's imagination.
And I guess with kids today, creativity will attract all the kids wanting to draw.
For all of the fans of huge imagination, that sort of thing, that's Sketch. That's out on 11th of September.
This next movie, I got to interview on radio the guy who inspired the whole thing. Brian, what's his name? Brian,
the whole story.
Brian, sorry, it's Chris Barnes. Get it right. Chris Barnes. I actually spoke to him last week, and it's an amazing story. Tell us about Kangaroo.
Well, with Kangaroo, essentially an actor, news actor, he's been washed up and everything. So him and an Indigenous girl are both teaming up to take care of this baby kangaroo, this baby Joey. Really cool. There's a lot of cool actors in this one. Our washed out TV actor is Ryan Core from Pack to the Rafters. Oh, he's so charming with this one. Also we've got Rachel Howes in this one. She was in The Wilder People, also in Thor and that sort of thing. Brooke Satchwell's in this one, and Ernie Dingo's in this movie as well. So a whole bunch of stars in this, but very charming. Yeah.
And apparently the true story that inspired it did not have a weatherman. Ryan Core's playing that character, so they've created a little bit of
they've changed it a little bit, but Ryan Core looks like it's just really charming.
Great movie. That's Kangaroo movie. The Bad Guys 2 is out.
So The Bad Guys 2. So this is based on the whole book series. A lot of fun, because essentially in The Bad Guys, by the end of it, the bad guys become the good guys because they've turned around, they've actually helped everyone in the town, that sort of thing. However, in The Bad Guys 2, they're having a lot of trouble convincing everyone that they've actually become the good guys now. And all of a sudden, they're actually sort of held to task by a bunch of bad girls. So it's actually a whole bunch of female evil animals that are actually saying, no, you've got one more job to do, one more heist to do. And they're like, no, we're not going to do it. And they sort of force them to do it. And this is how they're dealing with it. Yeah, a lot of fun. Heaps of cool voices in this one. My favorite, Sam Rockwell's in this one. Richard Ayoade from the IT Crowd's in this one as well. Colin Jost, Scarlett Johansson's husband, he's from SNL. He's in this one as well. Yeah, so a lot of fun.
Yep.
Mark Maron's in this one as well. Just cool. If you like the original books, but also the movie was really a lot of fun, The Bad Guys. So this is The Bad Guys 2, which is out on the 18th of September.
All right, let's do the final one and we'll extend the segment. We've been told we're nearly out of time. Let's do it.
This one's huge, though. This is One Battle After Another, 25th of September, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. He directed There Will Be Blood, Boogie Nights, huge movies. This one's got the big names in it. This has got Leonardo DiCaprio, a former revolutionary. He's head-to-head against Sean Penn, who's got short blonde hair, the whole short blonde hair thing. Sean Penn is like old, but he's like looking buff. He is playing like this huge up high police guy that's hunting these guys down. He was Leonardo's character is hiding, and he's found him. He's found his daughter. Everything. Huge situation in this one. Benicio del Toro is his best friend in this. This is a huge movie. It's going to be a lot of action, a lot of drama in this
Paul,
one.
let's have a look at the top 5 movies for this week to wrap it all up.
Sure,
some great movies there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. 5, Nobody 2. I love the main character in that one. 4, Fantastic Four, First Steps, doing really well. 3, Freakier Friday. That's pretty cool. 2, the very scary. This is a cool film, Weapons. And 1, I'm so glad, Liam Neeson, Pamela Anderson in The Naked Gun. It is so funny. It was good.
You've got a lot of. They've really got a lot of progress with that movie.
I want more of these movies.
So do I. It's a bit of a distraction. But thank you very much to you for coming in today. As always, we'll see you in a couple of weeks with streaming.
Yes.
Paul Elwin on the couch. Now, we've got a fantastic singer. Her name is Samira Bicknell. She's a young talent. Love on the Brain in the theatre right now.
And you got me like what you want from me. And I tried to buy you pretty hard, but the price is too high. Baby, you got me like you love when I fall apart, so you can push me together and throw me against the wall. Baby, you got me like don't you stop loving me, don't quit loving me, just stop loving me. And babe, I'm fist fine with fire just to getting close to you. Can we burn something, babe? And now we run for miles just to get a taste. Must be love on the brain that's got me feeling this way. It beats me black and blue, and it beats me so good, and I can't get enough. Must be love on the brain, and it keeps cursing my name. No matter what I do, I'm no good without you, and I can't get enough. Must be love on the brain. Then you keep loving me, just love me, yeah, just love me. All you need to do is love me, yeah. Got me like I'm tired of being played like a violin. What do I gotta get in? Yeah, I got me like don't you stop loving me, don't quit loving me, just stop. And babe, I'm fist fine with fire just to getting close to you. Can we burn something, babe? And now we run for miles just to get a taste. Must be love that's got me feeling this way. It beats me black and blue, and it beats me so good, and I can't get enough. Must be love on the brain, and it keeps cursing my name. No matter what I do, I'm no good without you, and I can't get enough. Must be love on the brain.
Thank you very much to Samira. She'll be back at the end of the show with another fantastic song. Local talent here on the couch. Somebody else that's a local talent, been here for many years, is Demelza Leonard.
Yes,
Welcome back.
10 years.
10 years. I wasn't going to say how long, but I thought it might have been about 10 years. Long time, isn't it?
10 years, 2 weeks ago.
Wow. Congratulations.
If we're
Welcome
being
back.
specific, but yes,
Nice to
thank
have you
you.
back.
A
Today-
different hat today.
Yeah, we're not talking about music and we're not talking about pop culture, but we
No.
are talking about social media laws.
Yes.
Lots has happened
Yes.
in the last couple of years, a lot of talking. So we thought we'd talk about that today.
Absolutely.
And you being probably one of the best people to be involved, because you worked, just to give some people some background, you worked
Yeah.
in social media for
I
a long
still
time.
do. I still do work in social media. I just kind of have now shifted more towards pop culture marketing and social media.
There you go. So what's led to Australia being the first country to take on this big step?
There's been a real concern in regards to the kids online, cyberbullying, their mental health, their mental wellness, and we've seen this very, I guess, snap decision made by the government alongside the eSafety Commission to ban under 16s from utilising social media platforms.
So when you talk about platforms, what platforms are we talking about?
So TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube's on there as well,
Oh, wow.
and X. So the main ones, there are 3 that are still going to be able to be used. So Messenger Kids, you'll still be able to use. Google Classrooms, you'll be able to use. And there is one more, WhatsApp, you'll still be able to use.
Now, this required legislation. When did that all happen? Has it been done? Has it been approved?
No, so the actual law itself, it's all still in the process of being put in place. It's basically how it's going to be enforced, we don't know just yet. But the ban all of these social media platforms and apps basically have to stop on the 10th of December
So it's only a
2025.
couple of months away.
So it's only a couple of months away, and there's still a lot of questions being asked,
Yes.
and things that we have not seen.
Yeah. So who's going to be responsible for making sure this all happens?
It's going to be the actual platforms themselves. So the platforms will could face up to a $50 million fine if they don't
Wow, that's a big fine.
facilitate this or be seen as facilitating these changes and this ban. The parents and the actual children themselves, or under 16s themselves, they will not have any penalties if a 15-year-old has found some
Accidentally got
loopholes and managed an account in some way, shape or form.
So how are the platforms, this is the big one, how are they going to verify people's ages?
This is the question that everyone is asking. So currently they have done some research. Those findings are actually not due out for a little bit longer. There are ways that are robust and effective that they have found in terms of verifying ages. They have tried facial technology and recognition. However, that technology is only guessing the ages.
Oh, yeah,
so, I
that's
mean,
it.
someone, not to blow my own
Yep.
whistle, but someone like myself, it could basically not guess my age,
you
right?
can definitely pass for 16.
So
gonna
it
be
really
hard.
is just a guessing game. There is also talk about verifications and IDs. However, the government has said that they do not want the actual platforms being able to be given
Yes.
identification.
Well, we were talking about this earlier, and just I don't want to take too much time up, but I know I sort of said basically they could do it through MyGov, get people to verify through MyGov, and if it's a child under 6, say they don't have MyGov,
Yeah.
the parent can verify them on the MyGov,
Well,
and
see,
maybe they can give them a code.
I think that's a great idea. The only thing is does that fall within what they're saying will be monitored in terms of the
Correct.
identification
Will the parent
process,
just go,
right?
yeah, let them have it? And the other
That's
thing
it.
is, what about the costs for this? And I don't mean this in dollar terms. There's psychological impact, mental health issues as well with kids. We were saying this earlier. What about the ones that have been using it for such a long
Well,
time?
and this is the thing, because I mean, there's a lot of kids who have started their social media lives much younger because they've got YouTube channels. You know, they've got these careers that have established on the YouTube channels. You've got kids who are utilizing Instagram. They're utilizing Snapchat.
Part of it,
Snapchat is it's Instagram, then Snapchat, and then TikTok
Yes.
in terms of the three most popular apps that are being used by kids. Now, this is how they find their information. They know what everyone else is doing. It's
Correct.
a community for them. It's how they reach out for the community. And what we're potentially losing is kids who might not feel like they fit in a school
It
environment.
may create some mental health issues that weren't
Exactly.
there to start with.
Who are they going to reach out to?
What are the advocates saying? What are the kids saying about this whole change?
I mean, look, you ask any kids,
Yeah.
they're not going to like being told that they can't do anything. The mental health organisations and the e-safety commissioner does feel like this is a great stance to take. And yes, to an extent, it is, because it is thinking about that bigger picture. You know, we are seeing horrible, horrible things online, particularly for those under 16s, but it has to be enforced. Otherwise, it's just a waste of time and money.
The other thing that comes from this is that we're the first country to ever do this.
We are.
We're going to
So
make a global
the
impact.
eyes of the world are watching what we're doing right now.
Amazing. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the ID verification. I think that's going to be the biggest one. But what gaps remain, even with the legislation, getting kids to sign in and verify? What can you see being the gaps that we need to look at?
Look, I think from a digital perspective, there's so much that needs to be done. I mean, we're removing potentially digital literacy. A lot of kids, I mean, I know when I used to use Messenger, I became a very fast typer because of chatting. You know, it's all these things that we don't realise we're actually picking up and we're learning. You know, the way that kids learn other things beyond what they're learning in
We all
school.
know kids don't watch the news anymore. They go on
No.
YouTube. They talk to their friends on there. They find out what to wear, what to eat.
Exactly.
There's a society there that they've grown up with. It's going to be how is that managed? Because if you cut people off on day one,
Well, and
what
this
happens to those
is
kids?
it. We're talking about the mental health
Yep.
of the kids being involved.
Yep.
What about the ones who have already been using it? You're basically taking a dopamine hit from them.
Exactly.
It's an addiction. I mean, it's an addiction for a lot of adults. How do we fill that? And nobody seems to be
Yep.
discussing that
That
aspect
option.
to
And
it.
it's going to be a big part. You're talking about millions of kids as well. Demels, if people want more information, do you still get involved with that side
I
of it?
do still dabble in it.
What's your website?
They can head to demelsaleonard.com, or they can find out some of the cooler things that are happening in marketing on my podcast, Pop Influenced, on Spotify and Apple Music.
And if you've got any questions for Demelza on this issue or anything to do with the social media stuff, send it to us at the couch and then we'll pass it on and Demelza can answer it for you. Thank you for coming in and shedding
Thank
some
you
light
for
on this new
having
policy.
me.
We're going to take a break. Hala and the ladies are downstairs getting ready. They'll be here after the break. Welcome back to the couch. Millennium Kids are favourites of ours here on the couch. They do some great things when it comes to the environment and the world that we live in. And today we're speaking to someone we've not had on the show before. Her name is Anna Wiley. She's the chairperson of Millennium Kids. Welcome to the couch.
Thanks, Fred.
It is nice to put a face to your role because we've spoken to Kat before, and now she's the co-director there. There's two of them. We've got an adult director and a youth director.
Correct, yep.
But tell me about your role as chairperson.
Yeah, so chairperson's always one of those kind of interesting roles to define, but because Millennium Kids has been set up with the Youth Board and the Adult Council working together, my job's really to oversee that relationship and make sure the governance of those two things is working really well.
How did you get into this sort of role? What was your background?
So my background was originally in environmental science. So I met Katrina 27 years ago, which will be aging both of us now, I'm sure.
Oh, you were very young.
I was at university. I was
Yeah.
at university. So and she came to our university to the science students really, to see who would be interested in mentoring the students she had at the time. So Millennium Kids was a lot different then. It was very small. There was a small group of kids in primary school really that wanted to tackle environmental changes and big world problems, and Kat was looking for university students and others that could mentor them through their projects.
How hard is it for you in the role of chairperson to make sure that the idea of Millennium Kids is lived up to? I mean, tell us, for those people who haven't they know the kids come on, we speak to Kat here and there. Tell us, what is the function of Millennium Kids for those people who don't know, from a chairperson point?
Yeah, sure. So we will take any kid really that's interested in tackling an ESG problem. So it started off very much as an environment-focused group, but now we will look at things like housing and poverty and all sorts of things under that ESG umbrella. And we will find students in a few different ways. So sometimes we'll be at a school, at invitation of the school, and do programs with the kids, and then they want to stay on. Other times people hear about us because we're doing a tree planting day or an activity out in the public, and people will see what we're doing and come along to the events. And if there's kids that show interest in wanting to do their projects, we'll work with them to help to both scope it up and to make sure it can be real, and then find some way to support them.
The support that they need as children, young people, that obviously they can't do because they're not old enough. But look, it's driven by youth, isn't it? A lot of what you do is driven, because a lot of people think, no, they'll tell them what to do. Is that what? Give us a bit of an outline. How does it work with the kids going to the meeting and being able to give you ideas and implement those ideas?
Yeah, so from the very beginning we set up the structure at the constitution level, and the way that the whole organisation runs, I guess, is that we'd always have this youth board who were actually in charge of making the decisions, and then we'd have the adult council that would help with the assurance and governance around that. So the groups meet together when we have our meetings. They're a co-board meeting of both the youth board and the adult council together.
So you do it together, and you were saying to me there's 6 of the adults.
Yep.
And how many of the young ones?
There's about 15 on the board at the moment, but there's others that are involved. So you can elect to be onto the board, or you can just be a member who's doing their project. They can all come to the meetings.
So young kids, what sort of age group do you sort of encourage to join the committee or join Millennium Kids?
Yeah, so to actually formally come onto the committee, they need to be 11.
Yep.
So anywhere under that, they can participate, but they can't be voted onto the board. And then up to 24, they can stay in that role, and then they move into being an adult role, and you can stay in the adult role for as long as you like, as I'm proof of. And then in terms of participating, we have days where whole families come along, and there'll be 3 and 4-year-olds helping out with things and getting involved, all the way up to grandparents.
Look, I love the idea that you guys actually listen to the young, and they want us adults to listen, because they come up with some damn good ideas. I mean, I remember the spoons. You know, there was a wooden type spoon that we had on a couple of years ago, and this was created by one of your kids on Millennium Kids.
Yep.
And it was a way of being able. They were biodegradable,
yep.
I think.
Yes, they were. They were edible and biodegradable.
That's right, the edible one. I didn't quite eat one, but I tell you what, can you maybe give us a couple of the top things that have happened with the kids, the Millennium Kids, that have been implemented and have improved our world?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's kind of buckets of things that kids get passionate about. At the moment, we've got a lot of the youth involved really passionate about tree canopy and our loss of tree canopy. So we run a continuous program with them on Green Lab, and that's really getting them out and looking at areas they can make a change in. So getting buy-in from the local schools, the local shires, local businesses to revegetate and regreen areas. We all know there's a severe lack of canopy in Perth, so that's an ongoing project that the youth are really excited about, because they can see all the benefits that come from having that greater canopy across the places they live. So that's a really tangible thing that you can see out in the public, and people are welcome to come along and join those programs. And it's scaled, obviously. You could do just your street, and there's other people doing whole areas of bushland.
Yep.
And then we flux all the way through to things like
Some
democracy and how decisions are made at a government level. So we've kind of got a vast spectrum of projects.
I have to say, having known you guys for maybe over 10 years, Troy Wood, for example, what a great young talent.
Yeah.
The guy, I think, is about 18, and he's just come back from somewhere in the world.
Yes, Ben in Warsaw.
Yeah, and he's going to come on the show next week.
Yep.
But he is just an amazing talent. And I think there's a tendency as adults that we sort of say, well, you know, you're a child. And we get that. Is there any situation when you have your board meetings where the kids are just kids and you sort of have to say, come on, or because they look pretty sensible to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we always have fun. That's one of our core principles. We've got a couple, and fun is definitely one of them, along with looking after the environment and eating good chocolate.
Yes.
So we always make sure we do those things. But no, they're all really good kids, and obviously they've got big ideas, and that's what we love about them. And they're really happy to be part of something that's structured but fun to make those projects come to life.
So if you had to sell Millennium Kids to kids out there watching through this camera too here to you now, tell them why they need to be part of Millennium Kids and what it will offer for them.
It will offer, obviously, a huge network of other kids that think like you do about wanting to change the world and make it a better place. And you've got a whole bunch of really excited adults that want to help make that happen with you.
Wonderful. And to do that, they need to get in touch with, of course, your website.
Yeah, Millennium Kids, a great website, millenniumkids.com.au. So if you go there, Google that one, and you'll be able to see all the things we're doing and things you can sign up to join us with, and a good way to get in touch with Kat and I, and we can help make your projects come to life.
Absolutely love putting a name and a face to the name. I think it's wonderful, Anna, the work that you do. Keep up the great work. And of course, I love the fact that you keep the kids generally passionate about what they believe in. It's not a political movement. It's not about getting the kids to go out and march on the streets. Your kids are pretty sensible. They do great things. And the fact that you're actually showing results and these kids are loving it, and you've got double the kids on a committee than the adults, it shows that you give them a say.
Yeah, well, they're the absolute leaders of tomorrow, so that's the point.
Well done. Well, thank you for coming in today. This is, of course, Anna Wiley. She's the chairperson of Millennium Kids. If you're a kid out there and you want to be part of it, or you're interested and want more information, get in touch through the website for Millennium Kids, and they'll help you get involved as well. Thank you, Anna.
Thanks, Fred.
Now, on the couch, we've talked about people being, mentally fit and all that sort of thing, but Hala would like us to get physically fit. So downstairs in the theatre, here's Hala. Over to you.
Thank you, Fred. Hi, everyone. My name is Hala, and I'm from Club Fiesta. Welcome to our Talking Fit segment. We are so happy and excited to be here. I've got my team with me today. I've got Taylor, I've got Christine, I've got Sarah, I've got Katerina, and I've got Amanda. Thank you so much, guys, for joining in, and we're so happy to be back at the studio. We are going to be doing something really, really exciting, which is part of the Club Fiesta program called Club Fiesta Kids. So this is for the little ones that like to dance, and we usually choose high energy, fun, simple moves that is designed for the little ones, say from age 6 to up to age 12, 13, even 14, or even 15. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. Get your little kids or get your little children to try it with us at home. And if you want more information, then you can head to our website, clubfiesta.com.au. Shall we roll the music and give it a try? Ready, girls? Let's go. Step slide. Let's go. Yes. Did you grab your best friend and dance? Nothing feels better than dancing with your best friend, right? Check this out. Speed drive. Fast car. That's it. 2 more. We're going to jump side to side. Ready? Pony. 2 steps each side. Yep. Again. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey. Do it again. Let's go. Up. Whoop. You're so fine. Mind blowing. All right, we're going to bounce to the back. Ready? Shake it. From the top. Oh, yes. You can sing along anytime. That's it. Ready? Fast car. Boom. Shoo. Fast. We got a car. Motorbike. 2 more. Ready? You already know. Go. Hey. Energy, girls. Let's go. Woo. Bounce it. Push it. 2 more. Hey. Last one. Bounce. 1 more. Let's go again. Boom. And then, yes. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Well done, girls. That was awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed it at home. Any questions, head to our website, clubfiesta.com.au. Thank you so much for having us. Back to you, Fred.
Thank you, Hala. Always a pleasure to have the Club Fiesta team in. And that segment there, write to them because that's about kids 6 to 11 or 6 to 12 years of age, and they can help you as well. Thank you to Millennium Kids. Thank you to you at home for watching. We'll take a break. More of The Couch coming up right after this.
Tell me, would you wait for me? Baby, I'm a rolling stone. I got a lot of right in me, but I don't want to say.
Hello Australia, welcome to another Bitchin' segment. Let me introduce the bitches for today. It is, of course, Chris Moyer, as always. Thank you very much for coming in. Thank you to Sharon Atwood as well for coming in, and Chris Ilsley, as always. A pleasure to have all three of you.
Thanks, Fred.
We've got 5 topics today. Let's start with
We
number
sure
1.
do. So Woolies is in the news yet again, but this has got nothing to do with price this time.
Or Christmas stuff
Or
that's
nothing
on the
to do
shelf.
with Christmas or Australia Day or whatever. A customer has taken to Reddit because of, get this, the extreme length of her receipt. Now, she spent $42, which was only on a couple of products. And she actually
spent $42.
Well,
It could only have been
only be a couple of products, that's right. And she's put the receipt against the 30-centimetre ruler, and the receipt is still going on. Now, you can see the tiny little space for the products, but after that, she's got the BWS vouchers, the Disney Discs competition, there's probably fuel stuff on
All the
there.
Woolworths stuff.
And all that stuff. Now, I, funnily enough, had my first ever job at Woolies, and I remember when we were trained, you would always get the receipt first, and then you'd put the coins and the paper on the customer's hand. Now, it was only rare that we'd ever have to fold the receipt in those days, and I don't even think I'm old. But now, you look at these receipts, they are huge, and this customer is complaining about the size of the receipts. Do we need receipts anymore? Who keeps them?
Well, I have to say to you, I don't even get a receipt anymore. Mine goes straight to my Flybuys.
Everyday rewards,
or Everyday Rewards, and if I ever want it, it's beautifully there, clear. It never expires, never fades. But I guess it's the whole receipt is the way they advertise things. And I've seen that, 14 metres for 2 products.
People forget something. The first question you're asked, do you want a receipt? But it's not automatic.
Exactly.
You have to say, yes, I want a receipt in the first place. And the other thing that can be forgotten is how many people actually do use those promotions. The one thing you can bet your boots, a store like Woolies is not doing those promotions if it's not paying off.
And they've got those things on the back, all the special offers and the discount and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Boy, have we got a deal for you.
But you've got to
Shopper
get your receipt now printed out if you want to collect like the Disney discs.
Correct.
Because it actually says the number there. So even if you're trying to do the right thing and have it put on your card, it's just quicker and easier. People end up opting for the paper so they can get more paper and plastic.
Maybe under $50, it should just be electronic.
Maybe. I once went through a Macca's drive-through and they said, do you want your receipt? And I said, oh, here's your receipt. And I said, no, thank you. And he goes, no, I insist. I need to give you one. Now, I thought there was some rule somewhere that by law you had to accept the receipt, but I don't. I mean, he was like, you have to take it.
No, you don't.
I wonder if
they can offer you
the receipt. That's right.
They can offer you the receipt and you can politely decline. And if you don't, there's on an EFTPOS terminal, they have 2 options. Option 1, copy. Option 2, no copy. Do you want a receipt? No, just press option 2. Do you want a receipt? Yes, you press option 1. It prints you out a second receipt.
Move on. It used to be a tick item in like secret shopping.
Yeah.
That did they offer you a receipt? But that was 15 years ago.
I wonder if places like McDonald's do that because so many in the food industry, people will say, I didn't get what I wanted.
They're putting a lot more pressure now on you to confirm that the order's correct on the screen.
Which is why so many people order and they push you to order with the app.
Yep.
Because you then have done the order, not the person working in the shop.
And remember we spoke about Hungry Jack's going the whole AI thing. And that's also a way they'll probably record you.
Actually, something, this is not really good customer service, but if I went the whole day AI thing in the fast food industry, my AI would be a real robot. It would be a Dalek. And if the customer was a pain in the neck, it would be exterminate.
I just find that the emailed receipts, though, now start clogging up my inbox. And I think inbox space is pretty prime real estate. And I think, you know, we've got to start reducing emails. You start getting a tax invoice from, I almost have to have an email account just for receipts.
You know what? Maybe it's an idea that we eliminate paper receipts and they just send them to your phone, like Officeworks just asks for your mobile number.
And Bunnings do the SMS receipts too. You know,
here's another thing. People don't like giving out their numbers, and there's a reason for that. The moment you give somebody your number, you technically have consented to being a customer and to receive from them, which means that they then can send you promotional material. And if you say, I opt out, I don't want to receive promotional material, the process restarts itself next time they want to send you a receipt.
Show of hands, who thinks we should get rid of receipts and make them electronic?
Yeah.
Most of mine are.
So we agree on that one. I think it might save a lot of money. Let's move to
all the
next
advertising. Topic. Okay, well, let's go overseas now. So there is an Italian restaurant in Birmingham, or just outside of Birmingham in the UK, and a diner has...
So what you're really saying is a modern-day Roman invasion.
Oh, in the UK, British Italian. Well, this might give us a bit more info about what's wrong. It's doing okay online, reviews-wise. It's not too bad. But a customer has just taken to the internet saying he was disappointed over how Italian the restaurant is.
In an Italian restaurant?
In an Italian restaurant outside of Birmingham.
So let me just be sure I've got this clear. He goes to an Italian restaurant and then complains it's too Italian.
Well, no, not Italian enough.
It's not Italian.
So he's saying that he's going, the staff aren't speaking Italian. He was finding that it just wasn't authentic enough. But here's this. Yeah. The owner of the restaurant responded by saying, we're not in Rome. We're not in Rome.
When you're not in Rome.
When you're not in Rome, you do not have to do as the Romans.
But it's so interesting because we are talking now about stereotypes, and everyone says, "I feel like Italian," right? But are we drawing long bows with calling food Italian?
Can we just draw a line? You can say, "I feel like Italian," meaning I feel like Italian food, not I feel like an Italian. There's a difference.
But it's the same as they'll say if you order Chinese and Australian. Chinese food is not what they eat in China.
Absolutely.
It is Australianised Chinese.
In other words, it's been,
and the same with
for want of a better term, readjusted to suit the Australian palate.
I buy butter chicken, for example, and it's not even real Indian food because they don't eat that a lot. It's because the English and the Australians have Australianised it. But I love butter chicken. But I wonder if this person's got nothing better to do, to be honest with you. If I go to an Italian restaurant, I go there to have lasagna, pasta, whatever it is, and as long as the food tastes Italian, isn't that what you should be grateful
Well, let's go into it a bit more.
I'll give you an example. When I was in Melbourne, I used to eat quite a lot of Pellegrinis on Birch Street. And that's absolutely wonderful. Yeah. But did they speak Italian? No, they spoke English, and we had a really good conversation.
Let's go through a bit more. So no one spoke Italian, but here's the thing. So the starter was calamari, and it was horrible. It was drowned in gravy. Now, that doesn't sound Italian, does it, though?
Sounds more English.
Does it sound... Is gravy...
Who puts gravy on
calamari?
English people outside of Birmingham, apparently.
I don't know.
Obviously.
Well, that's right.
I've never known for a European to use that powdered gravy.
But I guess the question is, anyone can complain about bad food, or they can say that I didn't enjoy that restaurant. It's the prerogative of every customer. But to say it's not Italian enough, or it's not French enough, or not, if it's Indian or Chinese.
Here's the problem. I like Italian food, but if I go to an Italian restaurant and somebody speaks to me in Italian, we got a problem. Because I don't speak Italian and I didn't do Latin at school.
So what was the outcome? What was the outcome of this person?
There was nothing. The owner, which I would, if anyone was asking me for advice, the owner did hit back and said, "We're not in Rome."
So
I personally wouldn't. I wouldn't have said that, although it's very, very.
I would thank them for their feedback and say, "Well, I'm sorry, we're not Italian enough."
But I love how a lot of experts, like if I say, "Oh, I love a Supreme," I love people that in Australia who coach me on my pizza. They say, "Well, Chris, in Italy, a Supreme only has 2 or 3 items. Chris, real Italian food only has, they're very minimal.
And you don't have pineapple on pizza.
You don't have pineapple on pizza.
I like pineapple on pizza.
Or the New York style pizzas, that you get in
here's the point. A pizza is what you like it to be.
Like
so maybe you like a non-Italian pizza.
Correct.
Well, the basic concept comes from Italy, but how you've modified it to your own taste.
I'm not sure if everyone remembers, but there was an episode on Seinfeld where Kramer wanted to do his own pizzas, and he wanted to put cucumber on the pizza. And Poppy, the owner of the restaurant, said you can't let people put whatever they want on a pizza.
At what point then is it not a pizza anymore.
That's
I was
right.
talking to my son yesterday because it's all over the internet. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Oh, yes.
To deviate from this slightly, but it's
Yeah.
that whole, well, at what point is it not a pizza? At what point is a hot dog not a sandwich?
Absolutely.
At what point is this
So-
not an Italian restaurant because they didn't speak
You
Italian?
know something? I'd make it an authentic Italian restaurant. Mate, you're a pain in the neck. And we've just brought some Calabrians in, and you are going to have a very
real problem.
And
That's
expect
right.
a horse in your bed when you get home.
Yeah, like on the Godfather.
Well done. Let's move up to the next story.
Well, let's take now customer aggression a little bit more. So just slightly out of the UK, we're going to go to Spain now. This happened this week. Now, a man or a customer set fire to a cafe.
Who was a man?
With customers inside. There were customers inside this cafe, but wait till you hear his reason. He set fire to the cafe because the staff refused, and they caught this all on CCTV. The staff refused to give him mayonnaise, or they said that they were out of mayonnaise. Now that's a pretty extreme grievance.
What's the penalty for no tomato sauce? Summary execution?
Well, that's right. Now, I did a bit of research on this one, and a couple of years ago, there was actually a lady in the UK who, get this, she actually called the police because McDonald's refused to serve her breakfast at 1 minute past 11 a.m. on the breakfast menu. Now, she in the UK called the police. This was a real thing to complain about
Did
McDonald's.
they turn up with lights and sirens on and guns?
Well, I guess the police probably said you shouldn't be bothering us for
that.
this. And again, if you want to bring a movie to it, there's that movie with Michael Douglas, Falling Down, where he asks for breakfast and it's 2 minutes
done.
past, and
That's
they
right.
said, "I don't want lunch, I want breakfast," and I think he takes the restaurant
They used
hostage.
to do 24-hour breakfast.
But it's just
Yeah.
so interesting how there can be something that can set a customer off to extreme things.
I think a lot of it is because I've been there and it's happened to me. But I normally don't get angry at people doing the wrong thing. I'll be honest with you. If I ask for a cappuccino and I get a mochaccino, I couldn't care less. I guess it's all about our personal lives. How highly strung are you? How happy are you with the world? Because I've been to restaurants where I've ordered a certain fish and got calamari, and I'll say, "Oh look, I ordered this," and they'll say, "Oh look, we'll give you a refund. We'll give you this for free." I say, "No, don't worry about it. I'll eat it." Unless I'm a vegetarian, I got given a steak. I wouldn't
They
complain.
can get
but people
over it.
complain.
That'd be a hell of a
But
mistake
that's the
to
thing I
make.
think with this one is that it comes back to how tightly wound people are.
Yes.
And the fact there are people out there where if they don't get the mayonnaise, he's going
they
to
have
torch
to
the
argue.
restaurant. You know, there are people there that, there's a nugget missing from McDonald's and they've punched in the drive-through window.
Absolutely.
I don't think it's the customer service aspect. It's
I'll
there's
give you an
people out
example.
there
We're
like
very
we know
triggered.
someone.
Very
Yeah.
We know
triggered.
someone that works on this. Very shy. I won't mention any names. Marcella. She used to be our DA. She's wonderful. She won't mind me telling you. But whenever we go to a restaurant, she will always wait for them. You get a Coke, and it always comes with ice. That's just the standard, and it's cooler. She doesn't want ice. So instead of saying to them before they take the order, "I don't want ice," but then she'll wait for it to arrive. It will have ice in it, and then she'll refuse to have it. And I'll say, look, I'll have that one. Right? So there are people that love when people fail or they get it wrong. They get not turned on, but you get what I mean? It gives them
They
something.
get some sort of psychological
yes.
buzz.
But
from
rather, let's just actually think about the customer side for
Yes.
a second here. Can I ask, and it'd be good to open this up, for many people, the condiments are what makes food.
Correct.
The only instruction I ever give with condiments, whatever condiments I
Keep them
want,
separate.
is don't drown them in the
No,
condiments.
we're not talking about drowning, but for instance, it could be chicken salt, it could be vinegar with fish and chips,
could
it
be
could be
pepper sauce.
mayonnaise, it could be pepper sauce,
Big
it
Mac
could be
sauce.
Big Mac
Big
sauce,
Mac
and
sauce.
too much sauce on it. So I think that condiments are very underrated. I think that we
Yes,
don't.
absolutely.
Oh, it's only mayonnaise.
Yes,
Nuggets
but
without
Nuggets
sweet and
without
sour
sauce.
I take
exactly.
the point. That begs the question. Well, they always supply you with sauce anyway.
Yeah.
They just ask you which kind.
But
Or
they
do they?
default.
But do they?
They
Yes, they do.
default,
Default to
though.
sweet and sour.
Sweet and sour. Who's
Oh,
eating
look,
the
we love sweet and sour.
I eat sweet and
you,
sour.
you don't like sweet and sour?
No, kids don't, and they default
are
to
a
sweet
heathen.
and sour.
I never
I
have
like sweet and sour.
The centre console
Exactly.
of my car
All the
is
crude
where
stuff.
sweet
For the
and
record, I don't
sour
like mayonnaise
goes to
anyway, just to let you know. I'll have mustard, no mayonnaise.
We forget the
Yeah, well, there you
fundamental
go.
question here.
I would have set
Yep.
fire to that
You
restaurant.
know what the
So what's
fundamental
the problem?
question here is? Is not allowing someone to have mayonnaise, reasons for burning the establishment to the ground.
No,
Apparently
absolutely.
Can we just clarify, they did burn the place down?
He burned
He
it,
burned it
yes,
down.
yeah. 1.5 litre bottle of gasoline. He went and got the gasoline and then came back.
He could have just
You
gone and
think
got some
about it.
mayonnaise.
He could have gone and got the mayonnaise
Could
in
have
that
just
time.
done that.
This opens a...
Why didn't he
I
go
guess
and get a litre and a half of mayonnaise instead of a
Exactly.
litre and a
This
half
to
of
me would
petrol?
sound like this person's got some mental health issues,
Yeah.
psychiatric issues.
Stop.
This is just me,
So,
allegedly.
Stop
No
giving
one-
him an excuse.
No, but I'm saying to you, nobody burns down a restaurant
No.
which
No.
could
Over
kill people and
mayonnaise.
hurt
Of course.
people,
Yes.
and his own family if they were
That's
in there.
right.
So to me, it's not a normal thing to even take that argument on. The person's definitely got a problem.
Lack of self-control. one of
Exactly,
them.
and the fact that you're going to
Maybe
blow
he's
up.
always been indulged.
Yeah.
Maybe he's one of these people who, no matter what he's wanted, he always got it.
Yep.
This time he didn't
it.
get it, and he went, I'm going to burn the place down.
Let's go to the next one. We've got another customer
All
issue.
right, now, so we've heard about how, retailers, let's just say in retail, stereotype customers with the name Karen. Now, is it possible, though,
I'd
for
hate that name.
customers, and I know it's done its rounds,
I went to
but
school
let's,
with a couple of
let's
Karens,
go
they were
the
nice
other
girls.
way. There was a customer now that has started using a name to stereotype the competence, and in this case, intelligence of a manager in a particular store.
How do you do that? What would be the formula?
This is the thing. So I'll tell you the name, but that they needed some help, and then
Yep.
she goes, I'm just going to ask my manager on duty. And the person said, with a name like, get ready for it, with a name like Amber.
Amber?
I
What does
don't
that mean?
think
Amber.
I'll get the answer.
What's wrong with Amber?
So she says that someone with a name like Amber won't be able to help her.
Why?
So,
Amber? Nothing wrong
So
with
we're
Amber.
judging people. You mean you're
By
charging
name?
people by name?
that Amber won't. Someone that has a name like Amber won't be able to help me. This
Imagine
is
if
what
you were
this
called
customer
Chris.
said.
There's two of you on the couch today.
Yeah, and there was
I know.
even a show, Everybody Hates Chris.
Everybody hates Chris, or everybody loves Raymond.
That's right,
You know,
yeah.
that's right.
I think with this though, it's more the name. I mean, my friends, we have a joke like stripper names, and you think Amber's not on our list of
I
you know
wouldn't think it'd be a good
stripper names, and we've always got this thing about
It was never stripper
you know,
names for us
good-
blokes, it was porn star name.
Oh,
drag names, but like you say, Amber, would it be a personal
Well,
thing they've had with an Amber?
Where
With
are
an
we
Amber.
coming back
Yeah,
to?
I reckon it
I
would
mean,
be.
as a marketing, as a customer service person, would you ever consider that this would be an argument?
No, you wouldn't. But then again, remember, we're already on the back end of stereotyping customers. So with a name like Karen, you've heard those sayings. So I'm saying this is going the other way now.
Is this all about woke?
And well, no, I
Or
don't,
is
I
it just
don't think it.
is it just about, I reckon,
It's picky.
that somebody has had an issue with a woman named Amber,
And they've carried
and
it.
they've just carried it through because they really don't
Imagine
like
the
it.
harm it would do to kids out there. Saying,
That's
right. Karen was
Like
terrible.
Karen, exactly.
Remember the
Yeah.
diner, Karen's Diner, which
Karen,
went
yeah.
bust now because it had no
Well,
reason
it didn't
to
have
be
good
around.
customer service, did it?
It was terrible. And people at that time, it was a gimmick that worked
Yes.
during COVID, and obviously it closed down a year or two after. But I wonder if we're sending the wrong message to the young people out there. That, you know, what if you're named Karen? Are you going to be offended? Everyone's going
Well, I
to
went
make
to
fun of
school
you.
with a couple of Karens,
That's
and they
right.
were really nice
Exactly.
girls.
But with this
So
as
there
well,
you go.
though, there's been research around female CEOs with overly feminine names. And it is something out there that there is this perception that women with overly feminine names are not as competent.
Well, it's crazy, isn't it?
You know, so it's just
Here-
another
here's an
thing we
answer
have to
for
think
you.
about.
But here's the
It's
thing,
just-
why do we give into perception? If somebody
That's
looks
right.
at you and says, is Sharon appropriate for the job? Are they going to go, oh, well, the girl's name's Sharon, that's a common name. No, she won't be competent for the job.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
if anyone has had a conversation with you, knows that you've got a brain and knows that you would be
That's
competent.
right.
for
Not
the
only
job.
that, would you wonder if this would open the door now for kids? I'm talking woke now. Oh, Fred's not a good name. I'm going to go and change it by default to Sharon because Sharon's a better name for me. So
That probably is
what's
already
going to
happening.
happen? It's
obviously.
going to happen.
With the wisdom on this side of the couch from me, when I think about Amber as a name, is it an older name or is it more of a newer?
I think in my time I've
name?
encountered, consciously just thinking about it
Do you
now,
know-
about half a dozen Ambers.
Do you know what
Yeah.
amber means to me? And this is a silly way of looking at amber. As the minute you said the name, I think of the orange light turning
That's
red
right.
or green.
But we were always taught as kids amber light, whereas now
Flexible.
my kids, I'm saying the light's red, the light's orange. I don't
Yes.
think I've actually
we
referred
used to
to it
call it
more
Can I
as
also
Amber
make
amber
an
light.
light.
observation? Given in the last 30 years, some of the handicaps, and I won't call them names because they're handicaps, that some parents who've been smoking far too much illicit weed bestowed upon their children,
Yes,
I really wouldn't
absolutely.
be worrying too much about Amber because there are a lot of other names.
There's a lot
I
out
reckon
there.
kids
That's it.
could sue
Do we
their
all agree
parents
there's
over
nothing in a name? It's all
Nothing in
about
a name.
personality, intelligence. to be there.
And obviously capabilities as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now we've got another story, being Father's Day, of course.
It is Father's Day, so let's end with this one. It's on the internet, just around dad jokes in customer service,
Yeah.
and one of them was an American one, which it sort of flew over my head. But it was talking about, is dad joking to customers okay? Some customers laugh. Some customers don't
You've got
get
to know
it.
the person, especially nowadays, because someone will get
Well,
offended.
there was one person that said, "Do you work here?" And the person responded, "Only sometimes."
Which is the old public.
Which is actually quite funny.
Which is actually true.
Yeah, and quite funny.
Because you would sometimes do work here. Do you go on the couch, Chris? Only sometimes.
Sometimes.
Well, I tell you what,
sometimes.
when I worked at Medicare for 28 years there, our joke was, how many people work here? And I said, about half of them.
Half. Yeah.
And people used to laugh. Now the government set its budget that way. But it's funny what people get offended with. And I'm thinking, when we were younger, we used to have a lot more guts. We used to have a lot
you
more
just got
strength.
over it.
And some laugh. But then also there was one,
You could see a joke.
This is not my real ladder, this is my step ladder.
Oh,
The criminal
that's
laughing,
such a
the
dad
criminal
joke.
laughing. You know?
How about
I
this
don't
one?
use them.
I've got to ask you, because I know you've worked for Qantas, right? The Jet 2 ad. This poor lady that does the voiceover. I don't know if all of you've seen it. It was
And
like
TikTok.
the TikTok
It's
thing.
huge,
She's got the.
yeah.
She was at a concert yesterday, and I follow her. And the song came on that's in the ad, and she couldn't stop laughing. And she gets in front of the camera and basically says, you can save £50 on a Jet 2 holiday, and it's never better time. So she promotes this thing. Have you guys seen the ad?
No.
Oh, well, that's not what we're talking
Okay.
about.
But
Forget it.
here's the other thing. You talk about what happened in the old days. I'll tell you what happened
Yep.
in the old days. If somebody told a joke and you didn't find it funny, you'd go, huh? And you let them know you didn't find it funny.
Or you
right?
laugh.
There was no
Pretend
big
to
deal.
laugh. Pretend to laugh.
But what happens now, somebody goes, oh, you shouldn't have told that joke, I'm offended.
People are
What we
sensitive.
need to do is actually turn around and say, you're offended, are you? I don't care.
I don't think though people found
There's
this
nothing offensive. No, some just
I
do they
think it's-
laugh or not.
But
That's
it's
the
people.
question.
Is it an inability to have banter anymore? There's
right.
a lot of people out
Because
there.
people are scared.
They don't know what to say to this.
Correct.
You crack a half landed dad joke and they just don't know what to say and they're
Absolutely.
uncomfortable.
Here's
And
an
you know-
idea why, just laugh.
Do you know it bothers
dad
me? and
jokes are funny because they're silly.
I'm probably overthinking this, but there is a Maltesers commercial on TV that shows you these two
The ladies?
receptionists at a hotel,
Yeah, yeah.
and they're standing there with their hands behind their back,
they're
and they're
rolling the balls.
rolling the
The
Malteser
Malteser.
between them, and I sort of get the vibe that they're not allowed to talk, and it's always bothered me because I've always thought that obviously talking about your weekend while there are 10 customers waiting, I don't think's the right thing, but I think customers want to see a relaxed environment, not
Yes.
two statues standing at either end. And I know it's just a TV
hasn't the
commercial,
world changed?
but it bothers me when I see them that they're not allowed to talk when they're rolling an M&M that their boss won't see.
We had a situation in my employment
Yep.
where there was a technical problem.
Yep.
And these young people were texting each other.
Yes.
And they'd called me to help them solve this problem. I said, what are you doing? And they're texting each other. I said, ring them.
Yeah.
They rang them,
absolutely.
and within
Yeah.
30 seconds, a problem was solved.
It was-
but all
I
the
think-
time, it was taken to
I think
task.
on that note, we'll need to wrap it up. Thank you to Chris Ilsley,
Thank
as
you.
always, Sharon Atwood, and of
you.
course Chris and I for putting it
Thanks.
together. And can I just say, as a final one on that one, I guess we've become too sensitive and people are too scared because they don't know what to say anymore.
don't know what to say,
Someone's going to get offended. That is bitching for another month here or another couple of weeks. We'll be back again. Join us again next time, but more of The Couch coming up next.
Connect with The Couch online through Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Welcome back to The Couch. It's always very important to promote local authors, local artists, local musicians. If you're local, we love to have you on The Couch. Now, today I've got a fantastic author. Her name is Lynn Locke. She is from Waikiki and Rockingham here in WA, and this is her book, My Nana Loves. And she wants it to be a series of books, and we're going to call it My Nana Books. But welcome to Lynn.
Thank you, Fred.
Nice to have you here on The Couch.
Lovely to be here.
Tell me a little bit about Lynn, the Lynn story.
The Lynn story. Well, I moved to Western Australia 6 years ago after my husband passed away and before COVID, thank heavens.
Yep.
And I've been living with my daughter and grandchildren, and I have 2 more grandchildren on the Gold Coast. And I wanted to do something a little bit different. I keep
fairly busy, and I thought, oh well, I've always wanted to write a book, and my grandchildren think I'm crazy anyhow, so I thought I may as well do it.
So who inspired you to write the book? Is it a grandchild? Is it your daughter? Or is it just yourself?
I think it was my grandchildren, really. Yeah, they inspired the idea. And then I sort of thought about it, and then a young girl I know, when I say young to me, she's probably in her 40s, is a book coach. And I saw online that she could help you write a book or point you in the right direction.
How hard was it to get the book going? Because you'd not written anything before.
No.
So this would have been number one book. It would have been a lot of new things for you.
Yep.
What was so hard? What was the hardest thing that you did?
The hardest thing, I think, was the getting it published and doing the illustrations. That was really difficult, getting that organised and knowing what to do. I had no idea how you wrote a book, how you published a book, but Lisa Burling, who was the young girl who helped me, gave me heaps of sheets, fact sheets, and pushed me.
So how long did it take you to actually write the book and complete it all?
14 months.
Well, that's pretty quick.
It is pretty quick, but she gave me a really good tip. She said, go out, sit in a coffee shop once a week for 2 hours and write something.
Tell me this fantastic book, My Nana Loves, what's it about? What can we expect to read about?
It's a rhyming book because young children love rhyming books, and it actually relates to all my experiences with my grandchildren and also a very close friend of mine, and every time I read that one page everyone says, do you really have a friend called Joyce, and have you really been friends since you were 12? And we have.
So who is the book best targeted to? Who would you say out there should be reading this book and it will help them?
I would think nanas, granddads, aunties, uncles would be reading the book to children, but I also do story dogs, and my age group is about 8, and they love the book and they read the book. But I did read it to the kindies as well, and they just sat there and didn't even the librarian couldn't believe how silent they were.
Did you trial it on your own grandchildren and said, come on, read my book?
I did with not all of them, but with 3 of them.
And what was the feedback?
Well, my 16-year-old granddaughter read it and said, oh, Nan, that's actually really good. And I can imagine everything that you've said in the book because it was things I've done with them. My grandsons on the Gold Coast, they loved it, and my eldest granddaughter, she never read it till it was finished, but then she informed me, well, you know, she was the first grandchild, so therefore she was the one that inspired the book.
Provided all the material as well. From this book, where can you see yourself go? Where would you like to go? Because I know we're talking about Nana Loves books or the Nana books. Where can we go from here? What would you like to write about?
Well, this one's about My Nana Loves, which is about sparkles and having fun and sayings I've said, but I would love to do one on My Nana Goes because I have travelled. So on places I've been.
What a clever idea. It seems so simple but so logical.
Yeah, well, actually, that was my daughter's on the Gold Coast idea. I'd like to do My Nana Knows because my grandkids think I know everything, which I don't, but I tell them I do. And I'd like to do My Nana Says because being older, I have a lot of sayings, and there is one in there, Sticks and Stones, which I say.
Is it a short one or one that takes a long time to read that one for me?
The Sticks and Stones one?
Yeah, go for it.
I can read that for
you.
you.
There you go, I'll give you the book.
Got to find it.
Now, does it take a lot of work for you to write the rhyming? Were you a poetry person in your past and things like that?
I've never been a poetry writer in my past, but I've always written things for people in poetry, when friends have had birthdays and that.
Fantastic.
And my grandchildren, I've done things for my grandchildren. But yeah, so
it's something you enjoy,
these are
obviously.
things that, it sort of starts, I'll say my nan is crazy and I'm going to tell you what she loves. That's how the book starts.
Well, let's try this one. Tell us what it's called. The part that you're reading.
This is about my Nana loves sayings from times gone by.
There you go. I'll let you read it to camera too, to our audience.
My Nana loves saying from times gone by, it drives me crazy and I could just cry. I ask who cares about sticks and stones and what's it got to do with broken bones.
How beautiful is that? And so they're not too long for kids to get bored. And what age group do you think the books will be suitable?
I think probably 8 to 12.
Beautiful.
I think they would cover there. All my grandchildren, even the 18-year-old, has read it, but I think it's more targeted maybe to a 6-year-old. My friend's got a young daughter. granddaughter who loves it. So maybe even 6 to 12.
So this could be the first of Lynn Locke. We could be an exclusive here that
You
we
could
created
be.
your career.
Wouldn't that be great?
It would be fantastic, actually. Lynn, how do we get a hold of you and buy the book? Where do people go?
The people can go to my website, www.lynlock.com, and you can order it online there. They can call me, they can follow me on Facebook, whatever. I'm happy to talk to anyone, and I'm happy to send the book. And yes, it's...
So the next book's going to be called My Nana Goes?
I hope so. I
My
think
Nana
it'll be
Knows.
My Nana Goes. I've already started to write down places I've been to, but that's going to be difficult doing the rhyming, of course.
I reckon you'll master it. Well done. Welcome to W. I know you've been living here for 6 years now. Where did you were living in Sydney before that, weren't you?
Nowra, on the south coast.
Beautiful part of
Yeah,
Sydney.
lovely. And I lived there for over 40 years. So.
And did you tell all your friends that you've written a book?
Yes, and they've all actually got a copy or purchased a copy, which I'm really grateful for.
Hey.
And one said to me yesterday, we've laughed and laughed because we know everything in there. We've been there for all of it. So
Fantastic. Lynn Locke wrote this wonderful book, My Nana Loves. We absolutely love having her on the show, and we'll support you for the next one as well. Please support her by buying the book. And we've got 5 of the books, which I'm going to give away, but I'll tell you how to do that at the end of the show because I want you to do it off our website. Thank you again for coming in today.
no, thank you, Fred, for the
Who
opportunity.
says retirement you need to do nothing and buy a caravan and drive around Australia? You can still do that and write the book at
You
the same
can
time.
while you're going around every day. Just stop for an hour and write something and
Well
get
said.
it published because it's well worth it in the long run. How proud you feel and how happy you feel is just amazing.
More important, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think it does a lot about your health as well. It helps keep you younger and fresher. Thank you very much.
No, thank you, Fred.
We'll take a break. More of The Couch coming up right after this. We're talking to our friends from Davida. Stick around.
Connect with The Couch online through Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Welcome back to The Couch. Always nice to have your company all around Australia, whether you're watching us on Foxtel or C44 in Adelaide or NADA TV now. You can watch us live. Go to the NADA website and get the details as well. And I'll probably get them on the show very soon to talk about what they actually do. But let me welcome our good friends from Davida Home Care. We've got, of course, Catherine Ewan, who's the networker. Welcome back.
Thank you very much for having me, Fred.
And a new face today. It's Nikki Ogle. Now, Nikki, I call you the activities social coordinator at the Davida Care.
Sure.
Welcome. Do you like that
Thank
title? You've been called worse, I guess.
Yeah.
Welcome to both of you. Nice to have you both here. What's been happening with Davida since I last saw you?
Oh my goodness, Fred. Well, as we keep talking about, there's lots and lots of change this year in the aged care space with the government overhauling the home care package funding to support at home. But I thought we'd switch things up and talk about something slightly different today, but really important, and that's about social isolation and loneliness and the work that we're doing to support our community in that space.
And this is where, Nikki, you're involved. Tell me about your role and why it's important.
Well, I am the Group Activities Coordinator. I create a calendar of events for our clients to attend every month. And the aim is to get them out of their house, moving a bit, meeting like-minded people.
And why do we do that? Why do we need to do that?
Well, otherwise they may literally just sit in their house the whole time
and have no social interaction.
Yes, I mean, other than some clients obviously have family, but the caregivers are sometimes the only people they see, and even if they are in a house full of people, it may not be. They may not have any shared interests.
Correct.
Yeah.
So how do you know what sort of activities to sort of run? How do you operate that sort of diary, I guess?
Good question. I'm not sure. I go on, I just see what's around.
So do you come up with an agenda?
Yes.
So do you come up with some ideas?
Yes.
And then see what the feeling is like amongst the people?
So we put a calendar together and send it to the clients, and then they will contact us and say, I'd like to come to the art or the music or
Well, let's
the
talk
cricket
about some of the
You're doing yourself a disservice there. Nikki puts a fantastic calendar together with lots of different variety in there. And you're also really good at collecting data back on what our clients want and sort of moving things towards that direction. So
Thank you
done
to the assistant coordinator.
I know, like, come on, you do such a great job, and she's always...
I guess you do it every day. You do it every day, and you just do your job and do it well, and you're passionate about it. I can see that you're passionate about what you do. But how hard is it to get interest out there? Now, you go out, Catherine, obviously you're the networker, you're our first person that we see. Do you get a lot of people, and we're not just talking about people who are in residential care, these are people that are also at home and may not have any family, may not have many friends, or for whatever reason, they might be in a wheelchair, but they're still at home getting home services. How do you get a lot of feedback from older Australians about what they want and what you end up running as events?
We do have a feedback form. When people get onboarded, they are asked what their interests are, and we take that information and speak to people. At the events, I speak to our clients and see what they want to do. They are quite happy to put forward ideas also if there's something that they like. Some of them are not always appropriate, but
I could imagine some of the feedback.
And we, I don't know, just go from there. Just take little bits.
Speaking
to people.
Why is it so important to Davida? And you know the company, you know your structure. You're there to look after people at home mainly.
Yeah.
If they're at home, you keep them at home. But how important are these activities for them?
It's really important, and I think for us, just on a personal level anyway, we try and remember everybody's so unique. They've all had their own life experience. It's made them into very different people, and we want to support them as individuals and be able to offer the different activities. So somebody might just want to go out with one person for a coffee and be, they're very shy and they just want to socialise in that way, and then other people, we want to keep them connected, and we're all going to go through big changes in our lives. We're going to sadly lose partners, or have to stop driving, and it impacts on the ability that we have to still be part of society. And the World Health Organization has recently released a report that gives some really quite frightening statistics on the link between social isolation and loneliness and cardiovascular disease and dementia. So again, really important for society as a whole to still engage our older Australians and keep them busy and keep putting quality into their lives.
I guess we're so used to talking about the cost. It's always about the cost.
Isn't it?
It's always the cost to the government, and governments always come up with ideas to reduce that cost when the idea reduces the budget. But I think from your point of view, you've got people that if they're happier, if they're actually being active and having interest. Now, we were talking about art classes, going to the movies, maybe shopping sprees, maybe travelling down south, maybe just doing a sporting activity, which may not have to be too physical, but it's also, it's all about feeling like you belong to the community and you have a life. So many people at 67 years of age are sort of told, okay, you finished your job now, what do you do? And I know my parents, what did they do? Watch TV. 20 hours a day and get sick, and then you don't have that activity, you eat the wrong food. So I'm assuming that not all healthcare providers are as I guess passionate about what to do with their customers as much as what you do. You put a lot of work into it.
Yeah, definitely. It's something that we have taken seriously, and I think your role was actually developed specifically because we saw a gap in the services that we were able to offer our clients, because it's not just about offering individual support. We want to be able to bring them together, and we have had people that have made friends and connect. And then you've got a pen pal thing going on as well, haven't you? Tell us about that.
What sort of things? I mean, tell us about the pen pal problem, but what sort of things are elderly Australians wanting from you?
A lot of it is things that they did when they were younger. There's a lot of gardening, painting, the arts are huge. Our clients don't necessarily always have the abilities to do a lot of intricate work, so we tailor things that are not don't involve too much dexterity necessarily. We've gone to watch the eagles train, which is free to anyone, but they just love it.
But I guess it's being part of community, part
Absolutely.
of the place you live. It's not someone that's locked in a room and they only see it through the TV. Who wants to sit and watch TV all day? I think it's a really important activity and something that Davida obviously finds important because you guys are doing it. Do you go with the residents, or should I say the customers?
Our clients.
Yeah,
You get
absolutely.
to, don't you?
Yes.
I don't get to do
Yes,
that.
now I'm there at every activity, which I love because it helps me to meet everyone, and it's small things like greeting them by name when they show up and asking how they've been in the 2 years.
I have
2
to
weeks.
say, Nikki and Catherine, I think one of the most important things, having looked after two elderly parents, is that you can't be with them 24 hours a day. You've got to work or you've got to do other commitments. And I think it's nice to know that an organisation like Davida Home Care can look after them to fill those gaps. A lot of healthcare providers out there, there's a lot of them, they do great jobs when it comes to looking after people's health, feeding people, but life is made up of so many different parts. And I think looking after them on a social level is, to me, one of the most important, and you guys have embraced it.
Yeah.
How do people get involved? Like if the home care services you are offering are something that they, I really like that idea, what do they need to do?
Yeah. Well, and I just wanted to mention before I forget, obviously Nikki's our activities coordinator over here in WA. I know that the programme goes out across Australia. Davida is Australia-wide as well, and we do have this programme of events across the country, so don't be put off if you're not in WA. But please get in touch with us. You can visit our website, which is www.davida.com.au, and if you jump onto the website, you'll find a telephone number, and that can put you in touch with your local office.
Yeah, if you've got questions, I think just ring them up, ask the question, because you might be surprised they can help you. Someone like Nikki can come out and organise some social events. You can come to my house and do it for me too. I think we just get so busy, and it's nice to have somebody there that you can talk to and organise things for us. Catherine, Nikki, thank you very much for coming in and shedding some light on the great work that Davida Home Care does. They're a great organisation. That is the end of the show today. Thank you for your company. I hope you've enjoyed the show. We've got a lovely young lady called Samira Bicknell in the theatre waiting to sing a song for us. Until we meet again next week, Australia, we'll leave you with Samira with Love Story Kiss on the couch. See you next week.
Hi, my name is Samira Bicknell and this is Love Story Kiss, which you can find on Spotify. I didn't know that you know my name, 'cause you said that you didn't play any games. You thought that you didn't get to decide, but I knew that we really did lie. The name of the band, we relate to the sound, so hear me when I say that it's calling out. If we could turn this into a kiss, what if we could turn this into a love story? You thought that you didn't get a say, 'cause you thought that I was truly crazy. You that you did was complain, but I knew that we really did like. The name of the band, we relate to the sound, so hear me when I say that it's calling out. What if we could turn this into a kiss? What if we could turn this into a love story kiss? Love story, love story, love story kiss. What if you could know my name? mind games. What if you could stop playing all these games and just love me the same? What if we could turn this into a kiss? What if we could turn this into a love story kiss? Love story, love story, love story kiss. On the couch with
This episode of The Couch is proudly supported by Retrovision, the right advice at the best price. Safety Compliance Global, taking care of all your safety requirements. The Ray Hotel, discover the best pub experience in Fremantle. And Eco Action, inspiring positive environmental change. Thank you all for supporting local.